This video is for everybody out there who wants to get on the first rung of the ladder, but is struggling. Hello, this is Enzo. Welcome to another episode of the Race Driver Coach Show. With the intro, you can sort of see that this is about MX5, but actually it goes beyond that. The metaphor and the story that I want to share with you now is to help you if you're the kind of driver that has this huge North Star in life. They want to become a pro driver, they want to become a world champion, but they don't seem to be able to get on the ladder in the first place. You see this a lot, right? If somebody's going for the Formula One route, they will think F4 is my first port of call. That's the first championship I must enter, straight from karting or straight cold. But they overlook the fact that it's £250,000 to enter, or euros. People who are trying to do IndyCar do the same. They think USF 2000 must be my first port of call. But that again is about $250,000. So how are you going to go from you, little old you, having no money, having no pedigree, and all of a sudden being able to fork out $250,000 just at the click of a fingers and just you'll get some sponsors? It doesn't happen. So what I want drivers to avoid doing is aiming too big for the first rung of the ladder. To bring things down closer to a manageable goal where that number one rung of the ladder, which was USF 2000 or F4, is actually year number 3, 2 or 3. There's no rush here. Remember my saying of dream big, start small? This is why I want to speak to you about the MX5 Championship, and actually all championships that are similar. Ones that are affordable, but give you loads of track time. Now, I had a driver this weekend just gone, and he's doing his first ever race weekend. And we chose MX5 Championship. Why? Because the kid's just finished school, he's got no cash whatsoever, he can borrow some off his parents, he can borrow some off other people, do a little bit of sponsorship, and just about get through a weekend of the MX5 Championship, which cost him about £2,000. Now it's 1,400, but he had to pay for circuit fees to go test in, to join the club, the MX5 club, so let's just say he did it all for £2,000 without any damage. Now that £2,000 got him a full test day, where I tell you what, the testing was amazing. It was like 30 minutes on, 30 minutes off, 30 minutes on, 30 minutes off, pretty much all day. So they got 5 or 6 sessions, so we say. And I thought, the value for money that you just got, you spent about 600 or whatever on this test day, and you're on track all the time, around a big circuit like Silverstone. I was like, that's fantastic. Now I'm used to being in championships like the FIA F3, where you get 45 minutes Friday morning, 8:45 in the morning or whatever. Then you have to wait until 5 at the night, like 5:45, so it's like an 8-hour wait in the middle to do qualifying. And then you just do 2 races. So you're hardly on track, yet you're paying nearly $1 million. So that's the difference here. And I was like, wow, these kind of championships, MX5 championships in the UK, there's like 60 cars that have entered into the race. About 60 of them, Mark 1s and Mark 3s or whatever it is. But I was thinking, this is manageable. Now, if I was a driver starting again right now, and I didn't really have the cash, I chose Formula Ford back in the day because I was thinking single-seaters. But to be fair, to go even cheaper, the MX5 Championship, when you're paying 1,400 quid a weekend, I don't know how many weekends it is, probably 8, that's doable. And you're getting all that track time, and you're getting about 3 races in a weekend as well. So you get all their testing and the 3 races, and they have to split it into 1A and 1B because there's so many of them, so it's heats pretty much. It's fantastic. And I was watching them just in testing, they're all racing, and the level's pretty good at the front actually. The level's as good as national standard at the front. And everybody comes all the way down to the beginners at the back obviously, but they're getting better. I was like, you know what, the racing here is absolutely amazing. Even on the testing, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see I'm showing a video now, and this is just on test day, and everyone's racing around because there's not much track left because there's so many cars on track. So there were like 3 abreast going into each corner. It was fascinating to watch. And they'd come in, they'd do their quick half-an-hour debrief, out again, do the same again, get better, change the setup, learn the track better, and they just carried on. And I thought, you know what, the camaraderie between everyone, they're all sharing one huge garage, which I think you've seen. If you saw my social media, and see if I can get a photo again on YouTube on this video. But it was just amazing. And I thought I would definitely do this. For the simple reason that this would help me improve my driving. It would allow me to get some headlines. So if I get some wins, I'll splash it out saying race winner. And if you win the championship, you can say you're the MX5 champion, which is again more sellable to people that don't know much about racing. You're the MX5 champion, and next you're going to move up to the mini championship or whatever it is you want to go for, which is on the Toka package on TV. It helps, right? So for you as a driver, all you care about is obviously building your profile, having the sport see that you're worth backing, having the sport see that you're a serious contender, and being able to bring the sponsors in as well. Now, I know the MX5 Championship isn't on TV and all this lot, so it's hard to sell for sponsorship. But if you do the £500 club, like I said before, €500 club, $500 club, wherever you're from, you can get sponsors for 500 and give them all you can for a whole year. So you go to a local company, say you can be on my MX5 Championship contending car for £500, and you'll have advertisement on that car all year. You can come to any race you want. In fact, we'll even do a track day where you drive this thing, and that's going to cost you about £3,000, but still it's a different package. It's doable. Championships like that don't cost much, that you could actually afford on a wage. If you've got a job that's paying you 30 odd K a year, you could actually just about pay it, or you could eke your way through it anyway. These kind of championships are a lot better to do than doing nothing at all. Again, people aiming for a very high first rung of the ladder end up failing and not racing. I prefer you to race in a championship that's a little bit more invisible. You know, it's not really high profile, but you're out on track improving yourself. You're out on track meeting people within the industry and gathering small sponsors. Because if you grab enough sponsors to go on this MX5 championship car, 10 of them say, and they're giving 500 each, and that just helps you pay for the season a little bit. Then the next year, if they've had a good time, you have given them a track day, maybe you sold that to them for a bit more money, and then you go for a bigger championship, but they're falling in love with your story. They're falling in love with how many clients you've just got them. They gave you 500 and you happen to get them 2 clients worth 10 grand each. Maybe they want more. And then if you go to a bigger championship, you turn up the dial of how much you ask them for. Also, you've learned how to liaise with sponsors. You've learned how to attract sponsors. So that one season that you did in this low championship called MX5 or similar, you've learned all the skills you need to learn in order to become a professional driver. So it's like a school. It's like most entrepreneurs have been on the market selling stuff before they learned how to really become an entrepreneur. Take championships, or have a look at championships in your country, or even outside your country if you have to travel to them. Look for ones that are manageable. This is for all drivers that can't really afford to go big time at the moment. And then build your empire slowly. Get the results in that championship. Build lots of little sponsors on top of the car. Build them, attract them, give them a good time, do some B2B with them, learn the industry of how to get sponsorship. And I'll tell you what, after a year or two, even if you have to do that championship for 2 years to get all this down, fine, do it. Probably need 1 year to learn if you're a complete novice, 2nd year to win. That's what I did again. And it builds. And then maybe you work as an instructor somewhere at a race school and you just get through. But you meet people. You start to create your brand within the sport. And I tell you what, you should never, ever ignore that being on track in anything, it's a lot better than being not on track at all. You've got to be racing something. And if it's an affordable championship, you just make the most of it. So take a look at MX5 Championship in the UK and other ones, Formula Ford Championships. There's going to be the same or equivalent type of championship in your country or somewhere that you can fly to. You got this? Think smart. So dream big, start small, but use that every day. What can you race next year? Because I don't want you sitting in your bedroom just hoping that you're going to race. Get to it.